combining learning with moving, with exercise, with being outside, with being involved in the world. And being here with Dr. An and the whole teaching faculty, you guys are breaking new ground in understanding a better way to learn, especially as we move into artificial intelligence or AI. You may feel like you're the guinea pigs of this experiment. However, you're the creators, and that's the beauty of it. You're the creators of what's going to be the best way to prepare kids all over the world in terms of dealing with this wonderful new age. It's always a real honor to be included with your group, and I love the enthusiasm and the smiles. We're making it up as we go along here. But anyway, it's really wonderful to be here. The excitement, the interest, and the possibility of making new pathways. Every time I come, I'm working with Dr. An and the faculty here and meeting new people, new scientists that we get introduced to every year. And it's just wonderful. And I go back to the United States and feel like we have to work harder to catch up to you all here in Korea. So I'm here to watch you grow and watch you develop new ways of understanding and learning, and a new system, perhaps, that can be translated all over the world. You know, a big part of my tradition and my development and interest has been using exercise, using movement to help the brain work better. And that's what we're seeing here with you all, is that you're using that. One of your fellows told me his free period in school to play basketball, because then he's smarter after he's done. He's better at school and can think his way through problems. And that's what we want, to be able to combine movement and with you're breaking new ground. So I'll be watching you from afar, but also coming back on occasion to see how well you're doing in changing our educational system. So thank you for letting me be a part of your journey, and I look forward to seeing how things develop over the next few years.
우선 좋은 말씀을 들어 영광입니다. AI 시대에 인간의 몸은 중요하다고 생각합니다. 운동을 통해 뇌가 활성화된다는 것은 인간의 특성이 아닐까 싶습니다. 운동을 하면 뇌가 활성된다고 하셨는데, 그럼 뇌가 얼마 동안 활성화되나요? 운동 후 몇 시간가량 활성되는지 궁금합니다.
You can activate your brain very quickly, just by standing up like you did. But then if you stand up and you move a little bit, or you write on the whiteboard, you know, it's getting your brain working because you're moving. And that helps your brain then think better. And if you include in that talking to others that you're working with, it really makes your brain on fire. And when it's on fire, you can think so much better. Don't ever forget, your brain is like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the better it works.
In Korea, our PE classes, they evaluate and like grade us by our like PE scores, by like doing flying disc games. And do you think it is a good way to grade our PE classes? And another question is that if I am really exhausted by running for like 2 hours, is it better than running just for like 10 or 20 minutes and being a little bit exhausted?
It's not about being exhausted.
Yes.
You're going to really exhaust everything. And you need to have energy for your brain to work well. So you don't want it. 2 hours is a long time. Well, in my book, I talk about a grading system in the at one of the schools in Naperville, where you were graded on how much time you improved in your cardiovascular function, in your ability to stay with an exercise. That was looking at things over time. It's a good way to help everyone develop at the same pace. One of the ways is looking at your heart rate and seeing your heart rate go up. And so using your Fitbit or your Apple Watch or your Garmin, whatever you have, and people are using these all the time, which is great. And to see that you're doing better by maintaining a high heart rate, which means your brain is being fed a lot. One of the best ways that I tell students to learn to study is to do a little jump rope. Only 5 minutes will get your heart rate up, will get your brain activated, and will get you ready to understand material that it might have been tough for you.
How exactly does physical activity and mental reflexes, how exactly does it?
When you move, your brain has to fire as you're changing positions, as you're moving faster, you're moving slower, you have balance to move, right? To especially think about jump rope. You have to balance everything as you're moving or else you're going to fall over. Well, that means a lot more brain cells are being used. And when that happens, it turns the brain on. And when that happens, your brain is more ready to take on new tasks, new information.
Is there any difference between playing a basketball for 5 minutes and studying and playing basketball for 30 minutes and studying? Like, is there any difference between those two?
Well, it depends. You know, if you're not too tired at playing 20 minutes, then 30 minutes, then it's better to do that, especially if you're having fun. And that's an element that you have to work in to all the exercise, is to have fun with what you're doing.
I have two questions. First is, nowadays people use computers to do their most works, but using your hands to do work, exercise more with your hands. You said that exercising sparks your brain, and I wonder if using your hands to work in a project is more efficient than using a computer. And second is, I like to do like anaerobic sports and like at night like push-ups. I wonder if aerobic sports and anaerobic sports have a difference in sparking your brain, like you said.
Yeah, very good question. Yes. The aerobics versus anaerobics, and does that have a different effect on the brain? Very similar, but yes, there's different parts of the brain that are activated. And that's all good, because both are good. Both help raise your level of attention and your interest and your capacity to take in information. We know more about anaerobic activity in the recent past, and we know that is a better way to elevate your mood, to have you be more feeling more satisfied, feeling more encouraged. So I would recommend doing both. So the more parts of your brain that are activated, the better. Just as we saw with the very first student asking a question, when he stood up, he could talk much better than if he was sitting down. You're using more muscles. You're using more brain stuff.
Some people say that when you sleep, like the brain can organize the things that you learned. So, what do you recommend after studying? Do you recommend sleep or exercising?
How about both? The answer is both, sleep and exercise. But they work together, because if you exercise, you'll sleep better. You'll go to a deeper level of sleep and be able to reprocess, like you're talking about, the reprocessing the information and wiring it in better.
I actually asked a Harvard student how she went into Harvard, And she actually said that she only studied 3 hours a day. But Korean students, most of them study more than 13 hours a day, and it's so competitive. So how do I manage my mental health in this stressful environment?
That is an excellent question. Right. It may be that you're working too hard, spending too much time working. So, and what we know is that we add exercise into your day more, you will feel more energized, you will feel less depressed, you will feel less stress of the burden of whatever you're doing. Plus, you will take in the information quicker, faster, better.
I believe repetitive exercise is helpful for you. But is there like a typical time that is recommended to exercise in a day, repetitively?
How long to exercise? Yeah. Well, usually we talk about 30 to 60 minutes of exercise. It's a good amount. And when to do it is when you do it at the time when you will do it. So oftentimes the best time is early in the morning when you get up before school or before work to put in a good 15, 20 minutes of exercise. And that will start your day, and then throughout the day you have exercise snacks, little bits of exercise, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
Most animals exercise much more than humans, so why aren't animals smarter than humans?
Good question. The question is animals exercise more than humans? Not all animals. I have a dog that won't move. They're very lazy dogs sometimes, and they're pretty smart even without exercising all the time. But yeah, they have different brains than we do, and they're probably smarter than we are in many, many ways. But you should all know that some of the best exercise is exercising in something that you like to do, that gives you a feeling of pleasure, because you'll come back to that exercise, as well as getting outside and being with friends. The more you can do that, your brain is going to be on fire, and you're going to feel so much better.
Personally, I'm not good at doing exercise, but sometimes I do exercise when I gain stress or to activate my brains before going to the academy. But do you recommend any other ways to activate your brains excluding exercise? Or if you don't recommend anything else, is there any exercise that is best at activating brains?
A lot of questions. Certainly, meditation is something that's people don't think of as an exercise, but it's a really important way to activate the brain. So meditation, doing yoga, which is not an extraneous exercise, doing Tai Chi, is very popular these days, and it really works to get your brain working.
You said that meditation and exercise is good for activating the brain, but I want to ask you vice versa. What's bad for your brain?
What is bad for your brain? Sitting. Sitting and not doing something fun or something different, but just sitting there and not doing anything. Sometimes it's okay, but most of the time it's not.
I have a simple question about Professor Rady. And when did you first think you would study brain and human? And what was the reason why you first started studying brain and exercising?
I had this patient, because I'm a psychiatrist, and he came to me, and he was saying all of a sudden he wasn't doing as well in his work. He's from MIT and Harvard, professor. And all of a sudden he wasn't working like he used to do. But the thing was that he was a marathoner, and he ran every day of his life, except now he hurt his knee, and so he couldn't run. And when he couldn't run, his brain didn't work as well, and he was very discouraged. And so I treated him he had an attention problem, and medicine helped. But then what really helped is when his knee got better and he started running again. And then he didn't need medicine and he didn't need me. So that was a big, big moment in my life to really appreciate the value of what exercise can do.
보통 뇌를 활성화시킬 때 그 운동을 많이 하잖아요. 근데 이 운동이 될 때 그 지속 시간이 있을 거 아니에요. 그 집중력 향상의 지속 시간. 근데 이런 것들이 또 이제 운동을 약 1시간을 하면은 어느 정도가 아마 집중력 향상이 되는지가 궁금합니다.
Exercise has in terms of improving your focus, improving your attention, will have an immediate effect and last for 40 minutes to an hour and a half. But accumulating exercise over the day will have a better effect longer. So through people that are exercising a lot, like my patient who had a bum knee there for a while, when he got back to running, he only ran once a day, but he ran 7 miles every day. Okay, and so he was good to go the whole day if he was doing his usual run. Oh yeah.